The accidental arrival, the cargo ship Pioneer, drifted through space. Captain Sarah Chen checked her navigation console for the 10th time. The numbers made no sense. Jung-hoon, run another scan. She ordered her navigation officer. Jung-hoon Park's fingers moved across his keyboard. His face grew pale. Captain, we are not in human space anymore. The jump drive malfunction sent us somewhere else. Sarah stood up from her chair. The Pioneer was just a simple cargo vessel carrying mining equipment to Mars Colony 7. They were not explorers. They were not soldiers. They were just workers trying to make a living. Min-joon, what's our fuel status? Sarah asked her engineer. Kim Min-joon shook his head. We have enough for maybe one more jump, Captain. But without proper coordinates, we could end up anywhere. Before Sarah could respond, the ship's alarm started screaming. On the main screen, 3 massive warships appeared. Each one was 20 times bigger than the Pioneer. Their hulls were dark purple, covered in strange symbols that seemed to glow. Captain, they're sending a message, said Seo-yeon, the communications officer. She was young, fresh out of the academy. This was supposed to be her easy first assignment. The screen flickered. A creature appeared. It had 4 arms, gray skin, and 6 eyes arranged in a circle around its head. When it spoke, the universal translator struggled to keep up. Unknown vessel, you have entered Zar'konian Empire space. This is forbiddance. You will surrender immediately, or face destruction. Sarah stepped forward. She had dealt with aggressive customers before in her cargo runs. Maybe this was not so different. This is Captain Chen of the human cargo ship Pioneer. We arrived here by accident. Our jump drive malfunctioned. We mean no harm. The alien, who wore elaborate golden armor, made a sound like grinding metal. Ignorance is not an excuse. I am Commander Zar'konian of the Imperial Fleet. Your species is unknown to us. You are not registered. You have no permits. You will be detained for processing. Processing? Sarah asked. She did not like the sound of that word. Your ship will be destroyed. Your crew will be interrogated. If you are deemed useful, you will become servants of the Empire. If not... Zar'konian let the threat hang in the air. Jung-hoon whispered to Sarah. Captain, their weapons are charging. Sarah's mind raced. They were just 5 humans in a rusty cargo ship. They had no weapons except some mining lasers in the cargo hold. But something about Zar'konian's arrogance made her angry. Earth had fought for its freedom too many times. Humans did not bow to bullies, whether they were from Earth or from space. Commander Zar'konian, Sarah said, keeping her voice steady. We respect your space. We will leave immediately. But we will not surrender. We are free people. All 6 of Zar'konian's eyes widened. You dare refuse the Zar'konian Empire? We have conquered 1,000 worlds. We have ruled for 10,000 years. You are nothing but insects before us. Sarah looked at her crew. Jung-hoon nodded. Min-joon cracked his knuckles. Seo-yeon's hands moved to her console, ready. Even young Zex Martinez, their cargo specialist who rarely spoke, stood straighter. We may be insects, Sarah said, but even insects can bite. Zar'konian's laugh sounded like breaking glass. Amusing. You have 1 minute to surrender. Choose wisely, humans. The transmission cut off. Sarah turned to her crew. Ideas? Min-joon grinned. Those mining lasers in the cargo hold. They're not weapons, but they can cut through asteroids. Maybe they can cut through shields too. It's crazy, Jung-hoon said. Then he smiled. But it might work, Sarah nodded. Then let's show the Zar'konian Empire what humans are made of. Seo-yeon, open a channel. Let's talk to them while Min-joon prepares our surprise. First meeting between humans and the Zar'konian Empire was about to become legendary. The Empire expected submission. They would get defiance instead. Asterisk first contact gone wrong. The countdown timer on the screen showed 30 seconds remaining. Sarah kept her face calm as she opened the communication channel again. Commander Zar'konian, we need more time to discuss this with our crew, Sarah said, buying precious seconds. Behind her, Min-joon worked frantically. He had connected 3 mining lasers together, creating something that was definitely not approved by any safety manual. Seo-yeon helped him route power from non-essential systems. No delays, Zar'konian replied. His 6 eyes narrowed. Surrender now, or an explosion rocked the Pioneer. One of the Zar'kon ships had fired a warning shot that grazed their hull. Hull breach in Section 4. Jung-hoon shouted. It's small, but we're losing air. Sarah gripped her chair. Zex, seal that breach. Use the emergency foam. Zex Martinez ran toward the damaged section, carrying repair equipment. The young man might be quiet, but he was fast when it mattered. 10 seconds, Zar'konian announced. Choose. Min-joon looked up from his work. Ready, Captain. Sarah took a deep breath. Humans had always been underdogs. They had survived ice ages, plagues, wars, and their own stupidity. They would survive this too. Commander Zar'konian, Sarah said loudly. Humans do not surrender. We adapt, we survive, and we fight. Then you choose death. Zar'konian raised his upper right arm, preparing to give the order to fire. Now. Sarah yelled. Min-joon activated the modified mining lasers. 3 brilliant beams of light shot out from the Pioneer's cargo bay. They were not aimed at the warships. Instead, they hit the space debris floating nearby old asteroids and space junk that drifted in this sector. The lasers superheated the debris instantly. The asteroids exploded into thousands of tiny, fast-moving fragments. It created a cloud of speeding bullets between the Pioneer and the Zar'kon ships. What is this? Zar'konian demanded. The debris cloud hit the first Zar'kon warship. The tiny rocks bounced off its shields harmlessly. But there were so many of them that the shield generators started to overheat. Warning lights flashed on the alien ship. It's just physics, Sarah said with a small smile. Your shields are designed for energy weapons and large projectiles. Not for 10,000 tiny impacts at once. The first Zar'kon ship's shields flickered and failed. The debris kept hitting its hull, leaving small dents and scratches. It was not serious damage, but it was embarrassing for the mighty Empire. Jung-hoon, full power to engines, Sarah ordered. Take us through the cloud. The Pioneer was small and nimble. It dodged through the debris field like a fish through coral. The massive Zar'kon warships tried to follow, but they were too big, too slow. One ship collided with a larger asteroid fragment. Its perfect purple hull now had an ugly scrape along the side. You dare damage Imperial property? Zar'konian roared. His 6 eyes had turned red with rage. We haven't damaged anything, Sarah replied innocently. The asteroids did that. We just gave them a little push. Inside the Pioneer, the crew worked as one unit. Jung-hoon piloted with skill, learned from years of dodging space traffic around Earth. Seo-yeon jammed the Zar'kon targeting systems with old Earth music apparently. Alien computers did not like Korean pop songs. Min-joon kept the engines running beyond their limits. Zex had sealed 3 more breaches without saying a word, just doing what needed to be done. Captain, I'm detecting more ships coming, Seo-yeon warned. Lots of them. On the screen, 20 more Zar'kon warships appeared. The Empire had called for reinforcements. Impossible, Zar'konian said, but now he sounded less confident. No one has ever resisted the Empire's first contact protocol. You are only 5 humans in a cargo ship. Yes, Sarah agreed. And you needed 23 warships to stop us. What does that say about your empire? The words hit harder than any weapon. Sarah could see other aliens on Zar'konian's bridge. They were whispering, pointing, recording everything. The story would spread. 5 humans in a rusty cargo ship had embarrassed the mighty Zar'konian Empire. "Captain," Min-joon called out, "I have an idea." "It's completely insane." Sarah laughed. "Those are the best kind." "What do you need?" "Everything," Min-joon said. "I mean, literally, everything we have in the cargo hold." The battle for human independence had just begun. Asterisk. The Empire's ultimatum. The 23 Zar'kon warships formed a perfect sphere around the Pioneer. There was no escape this time. Each ship's weapons glowed with deadly energy. "Humans," Zar'konian's voice echoed through space on all frequencies. "The Empire offers you one final chance. Surrender now, and you will live as servants. Continue to resist, and your entire species will be marked for termination." Inside the Pioneer, Min-joon worked with desperate speed. He had emptied the entire cargo hold. Mining equipment, food supplies, spare parts, even the crew's personal belongings. Everything was being loaded into makeshift missiles. "This is crazy," Jung-hoon muttered, but his hands never stopped working. "We're going to launch our lunch at them?" "Not just launch," Min-joon explained. "Each package has a small thruster and a timer. When they explode, they'll release everything inside. Metal shavings, frozen water, even Seo-yeon's collection of Earth music players." Seo-yeon looked offended. "Those are vintage." "They're weapons now," Min-joon said. On the main screen, a new figure appeared beside Zar'konian. This alien was different, taller, with golden skin and 8 eyes instead of 6. It wore robes covered in moving symbols. "I am High Overseer Valther," the figure announced. "I command this entire sector. Who speaks for your species?" Sarah stood straighter. "I do. Captain Sarah Chen of Earth." "Earth." Valther repeated the word slowly. "Your world will be catalogued and conquered. Your resistance here changes nothing. The Zar'konian Empire has never been defeated. There's a first time for everything," Sarah replied. Valther's 8 eyes flashed. "You have damaged 3 Imperial vessels. You have defied our authority. The punishment is the destruction of your homeworld. How does it feel, Captain Chen, to know you have doomed your entire species?" Sarah felt her crew tense. The weight of Valther's words was heavy. But then she remembered something her grandmother had told her long ago. When someone tries to make you afraid, they're usually afraid themselves. "You know what I think?" Sarah said calmly. "I think you're scared. You're scared because 5 humans in a cargo ship have done what no one else has done. We said no to you. Silence." Valther commanded, but Sarah continued. "How many of those 1,000 worlds you conquered actually fought back? How many just surrendered because you looked scary? You're not an empire. You're just bullies with big ships." Behind her, Zex quietly moved to a computer terminal. The young man began typing rapidly. Nobody noticed him. They never did. That was Zex's superpower. He was invisible when he wanted to be. "Captain," Zex whispered, "I've been analyzing their communications. Their empire is not as united as they claim. I'm detecting encrypted messages between their ships. Some of them are questioning their orders." Sarah's eyes widened. This was valuable information. "Seo-yeon, can you decrypt those messages?" Seo-yeon's fingers flew across her keyboard. "Give me 30 seconds. You have 10 seconds to surrender," Valther announced. "Then we fire." "Wait," Sarah said quickly. "If you're going to destroy us anyway, at least tell us why. Why does your empire conquer worlds? What's the point?" Valther seemed surprised by the question. "The strong rule the weak. This is the law of the universe." "But you're not strong," Sarah said. "You're afraid. That's why you need such big ships, such big threats. Truly strong people don't need to prove it. The encrypted messages appeared on Seo-yeon's screen. She gasped. "Captain, half their fleet captains are arguing against attacking us. They're saying we should be studied, not destroyed. They've never seen anyone resist like this." Sarah made a decision. "Broadcast those messages. Let everyone hear them." Seo-yeon hit the button. Suddenly, the arguing voices of Zar'kon officers filled the communication channels. "This is unprecedented. They are only 5 beings. Perhaps we should reconsider. The Empire's reputation is at stake. But what if they have allies?" "Enough!" Velther roared. "All ships, prepare to fire." Min-joon looked at Sarah. "Packages ready, Captain." Sarah nodded. "Everyone, remember, we're not trying to destroy them. We're trying to survive and make a point. The universe is watching." As the Zar'kon weapons charged, Sarah thought about Earth, about the 7 billion people who had no idea their fate was being decided by 5 people in a rusty cargo ship. "Fire everything," she commanded. Asterisk. Humans fight back 117 makeshift missiles launched from the Pioneer simultaneously. They were not elegant weapons, just cargo containers with thrusters strapped to them. But they moved in perfect chaos, spiraling and zigzagging through space. "What primitive nonsense is this?" Velther scoffed. "Destroy them all." The Zar'kon ships opened fire. Energy beams lit up space like a deadly fireworks show. They hit the first wave of containers, vaporizing them instantly. But when the containers exploded, they released their contents. Clouds of metal shavings spread through space, reflecting and scattering the energy beams in unexpected directions. "It's like a disco ball," Jung-hoon said with amazement. "But deadly." The scattered beams hit other containers, creating more explosions, more clouds, more chaos. Within seconds, the space between the ships became a glittering storm of debris and reflected energy. "I can't get a clear shot." One Zar'kon captain reported. "Their own weapons are being turned against them." Another said with something like admiration. Sarah grabbed the communication microphone. "All Zar'kon vessels, this is Captain Chen. We don't want to fight you. We just want to go home. But if you force us, we will defend ourselves with everything we have." Through the chaos, one container made it through. It hit the flagship's shield and exploded, releasing thousands of Seo-yeon's music players. They were old devices, each broadcasting different Earth songs at maximum volume. The electromagnetic interference overwhelmed the ship's sensors. "What is that noise?" Zar'konian demanded, his 6 eyes squinting in pain. "It's called rock and roll," Seo-yeon said proudly. Earth's greatest weapon. But the real surprise was yet to come. Zex had done more than just monitor communications. The quiet young man had hacked into one of the damaged Zar'kon ship's computers when its shields were down. "Captain," Zex said softly, "I have access to their historical database." "What?" Sarah turned to him in shock. Zex's fingers moved across his screen. "The Zar'kon Empire is built on a lie. They didn't conquer most of their worlds through strength. They used fear and intimidation. Most species surrendered without fighting. The few who resisted ... double quotes, he paused. They won their freedom." "Upload it," Sarah ordered. "Send it to every ship, every planet in range." The truth spread like wildfire through the Zar'kon fleet's own communication system. Centuries of hidden history became visible. Rebellions that succeeded. Worlds that said no and survived. The Empire's perfect record of conquest was a carefully maintained illusion. On the flagship, Velther's golden skin turned pale. "Stop that transmission." "I can't," his communication officer replied. "It's using our own emergency broadcast system. It would take hours to shut down." The effect was immediate. Some Zar'kon ships stopped firing. Others pulled back. The perfect sphere formation began to break apart. "You see?" Sarah said to Velther. "Empires built on fear always fall. But friendships built on respect can last forever. We don't want to be your enemies, but we won't be your slaves. Min-joon had one more surprise ready. He had kept the biggest mining laser hidden. Captain, I can open a jump portal. It won't take us home, but it will get us out of here. Do it, Sarah ordered. The mining laser fired at empty space, but Min-joon had modified it with parts from their broken jump drive. The beam tore a hole in space-time itself. A swirling portal appeared. That's impossible, Velther said. You're using mining equipment to create a wormhole? We're humans, Sarah replied. We've always been good at using the wrong tools for the right job. Before jumping through the portal, Sarah sent one last message. To all species hearing this, the Zar'konian Empire told you resistance was futile. They were wrong. Freedom is always possible. You just have to be crazy enough to try. The Pioneer entered the portal. But just before it closed, something unexpected happened. One of the Zar'kon ships followed them through. It was not attacking, it was escaping. The ship's captain appeared on screen. It was a young Zar'kon with bright purple skin. Captain Chen, I am Captain Zixana. My crew and I request asylum. We want to learn about this freedom you speak of. Sarah smiled. Welcome aboard the Revolution, Captain. As they traveled through the twisted space of the wormhole, Sarah realized they had done more than survive. They had planted seeds of change in an empire that had stood for 10,000 years. Asterisk. New Alliance, the wormhole spat them out near a trading station at the edge of known space. A Pioneer was badly damaged, held together by emergency foam and hope. Captain Zixana's ship, the Truth Seeker, floated beside them. Captain Chen, Zixana said over the communication link. My sensors show 73 ships approaching. They are from different species, all former subjects of the Empire. Sarah looked at the screen in amazement. Ships of every shape and size were arriving. Some were sleek and silver, others were organic-looking, and a few seemed to be made of pure energy. This is Ambassador Thren of the Vorthen Collective, a melodious voice announced. We monitored your confrontation with the Empire. We have waited centuries for someone to show that resistance was possible. Another voice joined in. The Kaleri Federation stands with the humans. The Mobdar clans pledge support. The Crystal Mines offer assistance, one by one. Species that had lived in fear of the Zar'konian Empire declared their support. Sarah's small act of defiance had triggered something massive. Jung-hoon checked his instruments. Captain, we're receiving technical data from dozens of ships. They're sharing technology with us, shield designs, engine upgrades, even weapon systems. Min-joon was practically dancing with excitement. With this knowledge, we could upgrade Earth's entire fleet. We'd jump ahead centuries in technology. But Seo-yeon looked worried. The Empire won't let this stand. They'll come for Earth. As if summoned by her words, space rippled. 500 Zar'kon warships appeared, led by Velther's massive command vessel. The Allied fleet was outnumbered 5 to 1. So, Velther's voice boomed across all channels. The insects gather together. It matters not. You will all burn. Sarah stood up. Her cargo ship was tiny compared to the forces arrayed around them, but she had learned something important. Size didn't matter. Courage did. High Overseer Velther, Sarah said clearly. I challenge you. Silence fell across all channels. What? Velther sounded genuinely confused. In Earth's history, disputes were sometimes settled by single combat. I challenge you. If I win, the Empire recognizes the independence of all gathered species. If you win, we surrender? Zixana gasped. Captain Chen, no. Velther is a warrior with centuries of experience. But Sarah wasn't finished. The combat will be a contest of problem-solving. We each face the same crisis scenario. Whoever finds the best solution wins. Velther laughed. You would stake everything on a game? Not a game, Sarah corrected. A test of leadership. The Empire rules through fear and force. We believe in cooperation and creativity. Let's see which is stronger. The gathered fleets held their breath. Then, surprisingly, Velther agreed. Very well. Name your challenge. Zex had been working quietly at his station. Now he spoke up. I've created a scenario. A colony of 10,000 beings is threatened by a cosmic storm. Resources are limited. Time is running out. Both leaders must present their solution. The scenario is transmitted to both leaders. They had 1 hour to prepare their answer. Velther's solution came first. It was efficient and cold. Evacuate the essential personnel scientists, leaders, warriors. Leave the rest. The Empire's strength must be preserved. Gasps of horror came from many ships. 2/3 of the colony would be left to die. Sarah presented her solution. We use every available ship, even cargo vessels. We create a chain of vessels to share power and extend shields. Everyone works together. The young help the old. The strong carry the weak. We save everyone or no one. Impossible, Velther scoffed. You don't have enough resources. Not if we work alone, Sarah agreed. But together, we do. Min-joon, show them the calculations. Min-joon displayed the math on every screen. By combining resources from different ships, sharing power, and working in perfect coordination, they could save everyone. It would be difficult, dangerous, but possible. This is the difference between us, Sarah said. You see people as resources to be spent. We see them as lives to be saved. You rule through fear. We lead through hope. The vote was called. Every ship captain would decide. One by one, they cast their choice. Even some Zar'kon captains in Velther's own fleet voted for Sarah's solution. The final tally appeared. 89% supported Sarah. Velther stood silent for a long moment. Then, in a voice that shook the cosmos, he spoke. The Empire acknowledges the independence of the gathered species. Captain Chen, you have won. But Sarah wasn't satisfied with just winning. High Overseer, the Empire doesn't have to be our enemy. Join us, not as conquerors, but as equals. The galaxy is big enough for all of us. You would trust us after everything? Velther asked. Trust is earned, Sarah replied. But someone has to take the first step. 3 months later, Earth received its first galactic visitors. The Pioneer led a fleet of allied ships into Earth orbit. Sarah stood on the bridge, her crew around her. So, Jung-hoon said with a grin, we accidentally started a galactic revolution. Changed the course of history. Seo-yeon added. Freed a dozen species. Min-joon continued. And all because our junk drive broke. Zex finished quietly. Sarah laughed. Best mistake we ever made. Outside the windows, Earth shone blue and beautiful. Humans were about to join a larger universe, not as subjects of an empire, but as founding members of the Galactic Alliance. The species that had entered the empire by mistake had changed it forever. The age of human expansion had begun, and the galaxy would never be the same. The end asterisk.